Hello, friends. My name is Anthony Lampron, one of your fellow course mates, or Dr. Smith, one of your students, and I'm from the Southeast Columbus area. And Lord willing, I will hopefully graduate in the spring. Um, so I'm going to break down as part of this assignment my general studies that I've been a part of. And so I will say my studies began almost 5 years ago at Ohio State University. So I'm from Southeast Columbus and I'm a big Buckeye. But there were two things that marked my education for that 1 year, those 2 semesters at Ohio State. And one would be the secular worldview that is really effective there. So obviously, whether people want to admit it or not, they are theologians in some way. And a secular school is going to push a lens through which we see the world. And it was difficult to work alongside other course mates and professors and do assignments with a biblical worldview when they really do not hold to that worldview. And then another thing that would mark my general studies there was a lack of recognition of human depravity. So um, through my time there, I was in psychology, a psychology course, in a philosophy course. And it's just like right at the tip of their tongue of the professor and the course mates, but they just can't quite get there as people who are not indwelt with the Spirit, as people who don't know the Word of God, to understand the depravity and the sin of man that causes some of these like psychological errors and errors in philosophy and worldview and morality. But so after kind of feeling this call to ministry and kind of having this burden that there's nothing else that I could do, after my first year at Ohio State, I transferred to Clear Creek and started over for my 4 years. So I'm in my fourth year here now. But I would say this as kind of a general statement. I would say Clear Creek general education is marked by men and women who genuinely care, trying to genuinely prepare genuine ministers for genuine gospel ministry. I never truly questioned the work I was assigned because I knew the professor had my best interest in mind. And I think that's a really beautiful thing to say about the school that you've entrusted your soul and education with. One time, Dr. Goodman said, failing to take your studies here seriously will not just affect you, but it will hurt those who you were entrusted by God to shepherd. And I try to keep that in mind through my studies here. We have been given an array of general studies, as I think is right and good. In American history, I've been been instilled with this idea from Professor Sims that if we are going to be called here, we need to know here. And what I mean by that is we need to know what has shaped our culture. We need to know what has shaped our country. And we need to know kind of the ins and outs of who we are as a society today. And our professors have done a great job of doing that. And then in the way of English, specifically with writing, with Professor Little, as leaders, as teachers, we're called to write, so we better know how to do that well. And we've certainly learned how to do that well here at Clear Creek, whether through the composition courses or through the Old Testament, New Testament courses, writing exegeticals, whatever it may be. Through our general studies here, we have certainly learned how to write and write well. In the way of fine arts, I kind of took those as an opportunity to think through the idea that a leader in a church needs to understand the culture, and not just leaders, Christians. We need to understand the culture. And so knowing the music, the literature, the art that has shaped the culture is profoundly important, I think, for leading people, especially in a country like the US that can be such a melting pot of people, but also have very niche cultures wherever we are from. I kind of group philosophy and psychology together, and I'll tell you why. I think our professors did a good job of kind of showing us that a leader should know what people think and why they think it. And there is such a contrast between the lens through which we see that at Clear Creek and the lens through which we saw that at Ohio State. And of course, it's just, again, it's a biblical worldview versus a secular worldview, and that it makes all the world of difference. And our professors do a great job of showing us what people think, why they think it, through the lens of the depravity of man. And then I would say In the sciences, we have learned how to glorify God by observing the ins and outs of his creation. In our Old Testament and New Testament courses, we've been given this awesome tool of Bible chapter summaries. I think it's a brilliant idea, though sometimes I couldn't stand it because just being frank and honest with you, like it was a lot of work, and it's every week we're just grinding out these chapter summaries and we're writing on like the entire Bible, and it's difficult. But there's almost no better tool to learn the Bible, learn how to break down the Bible, to study it, to really instill it in our hearts, minds, and souls. And I think it's important. And lastly, I think it's appropriate to touch on this seminar class. That our professors would take the time, thank you, Dr. Smith, for doing this, to kind of prepare us for a life in ministry, to transition us into ministry, to and also I want to say this. I think as a statement, an overlying statement for the seminar course and the courses like it, I would say a leader needs to be shaped through challenges, and we've been given those appropriate challenges in this course to be able to grow as leaders. So my time at Clear Creek in general studies has at times been a struggle, has at times been frustrating, but I bless the Lord for it. I thank God for it, because it has shaped me as a leader. It has shaped me as a student. It's shaped me as a writer, and a teacher, and it's shaped my worldview. And I really appreciate that. So I appreciate you guys hearing me out, and best of luck to all you course mates, and I pray for you all.